What's going on, everyone? Um, Before I get into this absolutely bizarre and crazy dream, I wanted to give an update on my wife's city, the city where my wife is from, Mariupol, which is under heavy attack today. Heavy attack that we've heard from several people that have sent us their own videos. And not only are they under heavy attack, there is mass starvation because they can't bring in food to the city. Roads are blocked. It's essentially a blockade. So again, I wanted to emphasize one last time, this is not fake. If you think it is, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. There's propaganda out there. There's fake videos out there. But I have to repeat myself one last time that the situation is incredibly real. And Putin's next plan is to attack Moldova after he gets the port city of Odessa. Another country, a different country. And after that, I think he's going to attack Latvia and the Baltic states so that he can bridge the exclave of Kaliningrad to Russia and create a corridor to the North Sea. Not the North Sea, I'm sorry, the west of the Baltics, basically, to have a bridge to the channel, British Channel, basically. That's what I think, but I don't know. Nobody knows. So the dream, it was like an entire lifetime. Maybe not an entire lifetime, but it was a compressed sort of atmosphere where everything went by incredibly fast, but it felt like I was on a journey in this dream that was taking months or possibly even years. But the time in it was compressed. The way I can describe it is it's almost as if I'm describing a life review of a different life in a different dimension that I'm experiencing. It almost seemed like I'm tapping into the life review of that individuated version of self experiencing that reality. The reality being very strange and almost comical. It starts off with me in this massive apartment complex that is multi-story and is colored pink. Take this off, it's getting hot. And but it was absolutely adorable. The pink was like this dollhouse pink color, and it just looked like a standard building, but it had this super unique feature to it. On the top floors, there was a railway system. So this building was so massive, it had its own train, and that connected like different portions of this building together. And I'm on the top floor where this sort of elevated train, which is not inside the building, it's extended outward and attached to it. So the rail is on top of the train. So sort of like an inverse monorail. And it's open windows, open seating. And I go inside this train, and there's all these people there, and they're dressed. This is what I've taken notice in particular, in this extremely weird clothing. Like, it's so hard to describe. Like, if you can imagine blending 1970s fashion with 1920s fashion, with modern fashion, plus some unique features that are impossible to describe. That's what people were wearing. They're wearing like these. Everyone seemed to have a, what do you call that thing? Scarf. Can't believe I forgot what it's called. They're wearing scarves that were in different colors. And they were wearing like these, some people wearing like these lavish clothing. And I go to the end of the building and I meet someone, and this person gives me something. I don't know what it was. I couldn't really see, but he was an older man. I think it was possibly a key or something golden in color. And he tells me I need to go. And I'm like, oh. So I go down to the bottom of this building and I get inside a car that looks kind of like a Jeep. And I go on this long road trip. And along the way, I meet this lovely dog. Now, this is where it gets weird. The dog can talk. I remember telepathically communicating with this dog in the dream. And it was very wise, and it was very noble, and it was very beautiful. And me and this dog are in this Jeep-like car going to all these different weird alien-looking places. And one of them was really scary and astonishing. We go up to this mountain or cliff face, and we climb to the top, and there are these ultra thin, sort of really narrow corridors that are made completely of what looks like granite or something similar. That there is this passageway on top of this super narrow ridge. Is this mountain that, imagine, it just goes straight up like this. Kind of look like a mohawk made of rock. Trying to think of what place I can compare it to, but off the top of my head, I don't really know. Somewhat resembled maybe Zion or Bryce Canyon in Utah, except the rocks were not red, they were gray. And as me and this dog are walking along the top of this ridge, the rocks started falling apart. And we started to panic, and we had to start jumping over large sections in order to continue making it to the end of this place. And it started to get really intense. And as we make it to the end, things got increasingly more and more intense. And when we get to what I perceive as to be the end, all I see is this blinding white light. And I wake up. So, take whatever you want from that. I believe that I quantumly entangled with this version of self that was on this intense journey in order to process that version of self's information to reconfigure into things that I might use in this current incarnation when I go on a journey here. Perhaps I am on a journey now. Perhaps there will be a similar sort of journey. So what I feel is, what I've done is that I've extracted information from that self to apply it here, to continue, for it to help me to continue on my journey, basically. And what I'm saying is that that was a real life in a real weird world that I was living in. like many of our dreams are. And that's what many of us are do. We're downloading information from our other avatars and applying it here to make our incarnation here more tolerable. That's becoming increasingly more intolerable, it seems. So that's it.